Hello everyone, I hope you are doing pretty fucking dope. So in this video, we will be creating this animation. So I will show you the animation first. So if I scroll down this page, you can see that this beautiful girl is moving its head. So to be precise, the it is not a particularly a animation. It is just a video. I have found it on stock footage website. Logic here is when I scroll the web page, the video will play. The frames of the video will continuously render it and it sounds like a video. So as you have already seen this video playing on the canvas. So and it looks pretty much cool. So today in this video we'll be creating this effect using Next.js and Gsap. So let's get right into the coding. So what I have done is I have created a canvas video route so that I can create this animation inside this route. And if I remove this page and write this is a canvas video route, and if I save this and if I go onto the browser, you can see this text here which is rendering, and our route is working perfectly fine. So now what I will do is I will create a component folder here. I have already created a component folder. So I will create another file inside this component folder and I will name as canvas video.tsx, and I will rafc this. And so what I am doing here is I'm separating the canvas video component, canvas video UI into a separate component so that it will be easy to read. So I will just remove this div and I will render the canvas video component here. I will save this, and if I go there canvas video and if I just reload the page, you can see that canvas video is there. So now let's start our coding. So to create that animation, was to create any type of animation, you have to firstly mark that component as client component, because I'm using Nextjs. So if you are using React, then it is not needed. Everything is client component in React. So I will mark this component as use client so that our interaction will work here. So firstly what I will do is I will create a div. There is already a div and I will just give it a class name of bg like select of 800, and I will create another div inside that, and I will give it a class name of parent, and I will give it a class name of relative, and I will give it a height of like 1600 bh. And if I save this page and if I go here, you can see that uh, the container is like slightly bluish in color and it is dark so that it looks fine here. So now what I will do is I will create another div here which I will make it sticky, so that on scroll the div position, that div will remain sticky and so that it does not move. I will give a width of full and sticky on top 0 and left 0, and I will give it a height of screen so that there will be overflow created. So if I reload the page, you can see that this div is sticky. So if I give it a bg of red 500, you can see that this div is sticky. So even if I scroll, the div is not moving. So that is what I wanted to create there. And inside this div I will create a canvas, and I will give it a class name of width full and height of screen. And if I save that page, so that our canvas will be sticky and it has a height of screen. So I will remove this bg.500, and if I save it, okay. So firstly what I will do is I will create a reference for this canvas to target this canvas. So I will enter this and I will create const canvas ref equals to use ref, and I will pass it ref here, ref canvas ref. So it is complaining us that mutable what is called mutable ref object undefined is not associated as legacy ref HTML canvas element undefined. So what we can do is you have to define type here. We are using TypeScript, so you have to define type. What I'll do is HTML canvas element. So the canvas element is of type HTML canvas element. So it is again complaining us that what is complaining. So I will pass the initial value of null here. So the error is gone. So now what I will do is I will create a use effect here where our main logic of the sequence frame animation will be inside this use effect logic. So I will create a variable called canvas equals to canvas ref dot current, because if you want to access the canvas reference we have to use canvas ref dot current, and we have to get a context for this canvas. So in order to use this canvas, so you have to use context. You can name anything you like, so I am using context here. So context equals to I will get a canvas dot get context in 2D. So what does it mean? It means that our animation is rendering on 2 dimension, so that we are getting the context, that canvas context from 2 dimension. So before writing any logic, you have to get the video frames for each second, so that we are continuously rendering that images on the pixels and it looks smooth like video. So in order to do that, firstly you have to have a video which you want to render on the screen while scrolling on the canvas. So there is this website called frameextractor.com. I will link this website on description. So what this website does is I will show you what it does. So I will select a video. So this is the video I used in my demo. So if I open this video, you can see that this is the video that I want to convert it into images, series of images. So what I will do is make this a default value of 100, and how many number of frames do you want from this video. So the more numbers of frames you extract from the video, the scrolling trigger will have more smooth effect, but it will take much time to load. So for in this demo purpose I'll be using 100 frames for the 15 seconds video. So if you click extract, then all of the 100 frames from this video will be extracted here. As you can see that this is the images which are being extracted from the video. So this will be playing while you scroll the web page. So it is like making 48 images out of 100. So I will show you when it is completed. So as you can see that all of our images has been downloaded. I mean it has been extracted from our video. So you can click here and download all of this file, and you can unzip that file. It will be downloaded in a zip format, and you can unload or unzip that file and use it in this tutorial. So now what I will do is I will create inside this public folder I will create another folder called canvas, or I will create frames, and inside these frames I will copy and paste all of the images that is required in this animation. So as you can see I have already copy and paste all of the images that is required for this, and I have downloaded like 100 images for this. So I will minimize this screen and I will close it. So now what I will do is I will create a function that will preload all of these images. So why it is important to preload all of the images? Because if the images are not loaded, then our animation will be not rendered, because the whole animation is required by running these images on sequences of frames. So what I will do is I will firstly create a variable called canvas frames like this, and I will create an object here, and for I will create current index of will be 0 and max index will be how many images are there. There are 100 images, so the index will start from 0. That means 100 minus 1, 99. So the max index will be 99 here. So what is the purpose of creating this variable is I will have to create a loop to preload all of the images. Now I will create a function called preload images. You can create function like this, or you can use arrow function. It is all up to you. I'll create arrow function called preload images like this, and inside this I'll have to create a for loop. So I will create for loop, let I equals to 1. I will start it from 1, and I is less or equals to canvas frames dot max index, and I will have to increment it I plus plus, and inside this I will create a image URL function, image URL variable, so that the I will have to store the image URL dynamically here. So I will create a template string literal by giving backtick and slash frames and slash I dot png. So what is this variable is, I am giving the location of the images, which is inside the public folder. Inside the public folder there is a folder name called frames. So using the asset under public folder, you do not have to specify the name of public folder here. So you can directly use a folder inside this public folder, which is frames, and slash and I will be the variable here, which will be in a continuous loop until it is 99. Canvas frame dot max index, which is 99. So firstly it will, the image URL will be slash frame slash 1.png, and second times the loop starts, the image URL will be 2.png slash frame slash 2.png. So it will create a dynamic image URL. So now what I will do is I will create a new constructor of image, which is image equals to new image like this, and I will have to pass the source image dot source. I will have to assign the image source, which is image URL. So this is the image URL that I have to provide inside this image constructor. So now what I will do is, so there is a magic function, there is like a really important function inside the image tag, which is onload function. So what this function does is this function will fire after your image has been loaded successfully on the DOM. So what I'll do is, after this after the image is loaded, I will fire this function, and inside this function I will load the all of the images, like images loaded. So I will create a variable here, const image, how many images are loaded. So first I will create a const images load equals to 0, because initially 0 images are loaded. So after the images are loaded, I will have to run this function inside the loop, so that every image is loaded and it will increment every time. So it is giving me error, so I will use let here, so that image load will increment every time the this run will loop. This loop will run on under 99 times. So now what I will do is, after this I will write a if condition where if images loaded, if the number of images loaded is triple equals to frames dot max index, I mean canvas frames dot max index, then you can start your animation here, or I will do console log that all of the images loaded like this, and I will have to call this function here. So I will like preload images, sorry, preload images like this. And if I save this and if I go on the console here, and if I see on the console, you can see that all of the images are loaded. So what I will do is I will just reload the page, and if I go on the network tab, you can see that all of the images are being loaded here. You can see that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, all of the images are loaded in the DOM. So after all of the images has been loaded, now we can proceed our animation. So this function is running very smoothly. Now after all of the images are loaded, so what I will do is I will create I will have to store that images into an array so that we can use that image to load our animation. So what do I mean by that? I mean I will create a images array like this, and I will have to, after the images has been, after all of the images has been loaded, I can do like, I mean I can do like this. Outside of the loop, I can images dot push like img. I mean inside here. So after all of the images has been loaded, I can store that image on this image array. So far so good, it is looking pretty good. So now our next step will be to load. So our images are all been loaded on the DOM, but we are not painting anything on the DOM. I mean we are not painting anything on the canvas. So our next step will be loading the image on our canvas or painting that image on the canvas. So let's start painting our image on canvas. So to do that, what you can do is I will create another function called load image. That is preload image, but our next function will be load image that will be on canvas. So I will write a function called load image on canvas like this, and what it will take is it will take a index. So which index of image you have to load on the canvas. Index will be of number of type, and I will do like this. So what you can do is if index is greater or equals to 0 and index is less or equals to frames dot max index, I mean canvas frame dot max index, then you have to run this function. And what you can do is also we have to use canvas here, so you have to use canvas also, and canvas, if canvas is accessible, only you can use this function here. So you have to paint the image on the canvas. So in order to paint the image on canvas, the canvas should be accessible. So I will create a image here, image variable, let img equals to images of index. So it is complaining us that images implicitly has any type. So we are using TypeScript, so that it is complaining us that we are not defining any types for these images. So what you can do is I will use this as HTML image element of array. So the type error is gone because we are storing image element inside this array like this. So now the type error is gone, and after that we will have to set the canvas width and height. So to set the canvas width and height, it is really simple. You just have to assign the width and height inside the canvas. So canvas width equals to, I will give it a window dot inner width. What it does is that the canvas width will be a full screen. I mean, how much the is how much space is taking. It's like the canvas will take the exact space of the window. So this is what it is saying. And for the height also, I will give the same, canvas height equals to window dot inner height. So this will also take the height of the window. Canvas will take the height of the width and height of the window. So now what I will do is to align our video canvas perfectly, and to maintain a smooth ratio, we'll have to get the scale x and scale y. So what I will do is I will do a const of scale x canvas dot width divided by image dot width. So we'll just take this ratio for the scale x, and for the scale y I will also take canvas dot height divided by image dot height. And for the scale, how much should it scale, I will give it a max dot max of scale x and scale y. So to adjust our uh, video canvas smoothly, and so that it does not uh, pixelated into our video canvas and it adjusts accordingly to our window, we'll have to get a new width and the new height. What I'll do is I will add a new width equals to image dot width into, I will multiply image dot width with scale, how much the image will scale. For the height, I will get new height equals to image dot height into scale. And I'll have to take offset also. Offset x equals to canvas dot width minus new width divided by 2. So this will be the offset in x. I will give it a offset of a offset inside x, and for the offset y I will get canvas dot height minus new height divided by 2. And to paint anything into the canvas, first we'll have to clear the context of the canvas. So what I'll do is I'll just context dot clear rectangle, clear rect in 0 0 canvas width and canvas height. Just like this, you can clear the context of the canvas. I do like this, and I will just enable smoothing to enhance the user experience while scrolling, so that the frames of the video will render very smoothly. So to do that, you can do like context dot image smoothing enable equals to true. And for the imaging smoothing quality, I will make it high. Context dot image smoothing quality equals to high. So it is giving us type error, that what it is saying, the left hand side argument may not be an optional property access. So what you can do is I will remove this question mark, and what does it says, context is possibly null or undefined. So before accessing context, you can write inside this condition, if context is available then only proceed on this code. So in this way the type error is gone. So now what I will do is I will draw this image onto our canvas. So context or draw image, image offset x, offset y, new width and new height, just like this. And at the end of it, I will just have to give frames dot current index, sorry, what is our variable canvas frame. So our canvas frame dot current index equals to index. So you have to update this current index variable just like this. So this part is done. Our preload function is also working properly, and load image on canvas function is, I think it is done. So what this function will do is it will just load single images on that canvas. So this index will render that index of that particular image. So our final step will be to start the animation. So where should we call this load image on canvas function? So you can call this on after the image has been loaded, because if the image has not been loaded, how do you render that image on the canvas? So after the image has been loaded, you can do like this: load image on canvas, and you can give like canvas frames dot current index, just like this. So if I save this and I will run this, so if I run this, you can see that our image has been loaded on our canvas. The first frame has been loaded on our canvas. So you can do it like this. But when scrolling, the animation is not running because we have not added our animation yet. So our next step will be to add animation on this canvas. So for the animation, we will use Gsap. So now what I will do is I will create another function called animation, and that function will be responsible to handle all of the scrolling animation required on the canvas. So right here I will create another function called like const render animation equals to arrow function, and just like this. So to create animation, first we will have to create a timeline. If you have seen my previous video in animation, we have created a timeline of animation which we have more control on that timeline. So to do that, you can do like this. Let's create a timeline first. Gsap dot timeline, and just like this, because in this timeline we have to embed scroll animation. So we will have to integrate scroll animation inside this timeline. So for that, I think I have not imported Gsap, so I'll just do like this: import Gsap from Gsap, like this. And inside this I will write scroll trigger, because we are using scroll trigger. Our animation is linked with scroll. So what you can do is you can create a trigger like this, and for the trigger you can use this class name or you can pass it as a ref. So I highly recommend you that you use ref for this, because it is a good practice in Next.js to target element with a reference. So what I will do is I'll create another reference called const parent ref equals to use ref, and HTML div element, it will be its type, and I will pass it like this: null. HTML div element, or sorry, HTML div element like this. And for the parent ref, I will pass it like this. Sorry, not here, I think it is here. Ref parent ref. And if I save this, now I can target this div using ref. So to target this div, you can use parent ref dot current. So the animation will trigger when this div will be visible in the viewport. So it is the trigger, and you can like give start. The animation should start from top, and the scrub will just link the scroll bar with the animation. so it will also help in smoothness and the reverse animation. So I will give it like 1, and for the end I will give it bottom. And if I save this, it will not do anything because we have not called this function yet, and we do not create any animation yet. So it is just creating a timeline. So to use this timeline you can use like tl.2 timeline.2 for using frames. frames, we are targeting frames, and the current index will be, sorry, current index will be frames, I mean canvas frame dot max index. And on update, while the animation is updating, you can pass a callback function like this function, and you can call that load image function, because on scrolling, on updating, you have to load the image continuously. So you can use like load image on canvas function like this. And mat.floor, we are using mat.floor because we want to get the numeric value, and float, we do not want that float value or decimal value to be come when we are loading images on canvas, so that the index will always be a positive integer or positive whole number. So that mat.floor, and we will give the frames dot current index, sorry, I mean canvas frames dot current index. And now what I will do is I will call this function up. I will call this function like here. So after the images has been loaded, we will load image on canvas and we will render the animation. And if I save this, and if I reload the page, and if I scroll this, and you can see that our animation is not running. So why is that? I mean Gsap from Gsap. Oh, we are using scroll trigger, but in Gsap, if you are using scroll trigger, you have to register this scroll trigger plugin. So while using Next.js, you have to register scroll trigger plugin. So in order to register a scroll trigger plugin, you can use like gsap.register plugin, and you can pass scroll trigger here like this. And if I save this, and now I will reload the page. So it is saying scroll trigger is not defined. Why it is saying? Oh, because we are not importing scroll trigger. So you have to import scroll trigger from gsap/scroll trigger. And if I save, so the image is rendering. So if I scroll down, it is not working. It is not working. Why it is not working? Now if I console, if I see on console, what is the problem here? Extra attributes from invalid, all the images invalid property, current index set to 99, missing plugin gsap dot register plugin. So let me see what is the problem here. So I see the problem here. The problem here is tl.2 frames. So the frame here is not defined. Instead of frame, you have to use canvas frames like this. I am extremely sorry for that. And if I save this, and now I will reload the page, and if I scroll down, you can see that our canvas is rendering very smoothly. As you can see, it is working perfectly fine, and this looks so much fucking cool. I mean, what do you want? Anything from that? So it is not that much of smooth. It is like lagging sometime. What I will do is I will increase this scrub value to 2, and let me see what it does. And if I reload the page, and if I scroll down, as you can see that it is smooth. It is smooth, and I am pretty much happy with this. And you can add this feature you can add this animation in your portfolio also, or you can add anything like this, and the HR will be much more impressed. And it looks so much cool, it looks so much cool. You can play with this value and get to your own animation or get to your own conclusion. So I will just increase by 3, and let me see what it does. If I reload the page, and if I scroll, okay, now it is really smooth. Now it is going really smooth. On scrolling, it is flawless. I mean, it is flawless. The animation here is really cool. If I was a HR and if I see this on someone portfolio, I will definitely hire that person. And it is you can see that this scroll bar is linked with the animation. So if even if I drag this scroll bar, the animation will also work very much smoothly. So guys, I think this will be it for this tutorial, and I hope that you like this video. I mean, this is a creative way to do this animation, and I will push this code onto the GitHub and provide you the source code also. And you can also try this and tweak a little bit or change any type of video and use any type of video you like, and all of the resources will be on description. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.